Hello, everybody. Welcome. So today is the first of a chakra series that I am filming. So today we are going to be focusing on the first and second chakras, the root and the sacral chakra. Those two intertwine really beautifully. And all the chakras are connected. So that's what's so beautiful about yoga, is that we can connect to those regions through our practice, and those regions connect to one another, so they really can build on one another. But we always want to start with the first of the chakras, which is the root chakra that originates at the base of the spine. We always start right at the tailbone of our spine and we work our way up in the regions of the chakra. So the root begins at the tailbone in the pelvis. And then the sacral chakra originates right below the navel. So again, we're working in that lower hip region today. So a lot of our poses will open the hips as well as focus on that lower body, grounding us into the earth, which is a big part of our root chakra, as well as, again, opening the hips, which is very symbolic for the purpose of the sacral chakra, which has to do a lot with creation, creativity, and all the energy that is stored in that area. The root chakra as well is also connected to the element of the earth. So especially today, I encourage you to practice barefoot so you have that connectivity with the earth and with your mat. And the element associated with the sacral chakra is the element of water. So there's a lot of fluidity in our movements. Think of moving through the hips and the spine really smoothly versus like broken movements. Sometimes if we're newer to our yoga practice, we move in those ways. So we're going to work a lot on fluidity and movement in that sense. So let's go ahead and begin. Let's start on our mats. Tailbones connecting to the earth. I'm going to sit just in a nice loose cross-legged position, but I am facing the front of my mat. Good. Depending how tight your hips are, your feet can be out or they can be really crossed inward, closer to a Sukhanasana or a lotus pose. I'm enjoying feeling the air outside, feeling my tailbone connecting to the ground beneath me. Lengthening my spine throughout my practice, meaning that I'm feeling that crown of the head almost lift upward, so I get that nice long line down to that root chakra center in my tailbone. We always want to make sure that tailbone has good connectivity to the earth, so you can even kind of lift those glute muscles back ever so slightly, so we make sure we can really feel that earth. A lot of times we will have a tendency to tuck pelvis underneath us and roll, and we lose that connection with our tailbone when we do that because it actually curves up like so. We want that tailbone to touch down by really pulling that belly button in towards our spine, pulling those glute muscles out behind us, and sitting nice and firmly connecting to the earth. Breathing here in and out. Our root chakra has a lot to do with our ability to feel secure in ourselves. If that root chakra is blocked, we may live in fear. So we're going to put our left hand on our heart. We're going to put our right hand out in front of us. This is like as if we're pushing away fear. Again. Inhale, bring that right hand into our heart center. Exhale, left hand pushes out. Using our hands as mudras, pushing away that fear on our exhale. Inhale, left hand in, right hand out. Exhale. Inhale, right hand in, left hand out. Exhale. Good. Pausing here, both hands into center. we're going to do that one more time. Inhale, left hand on our heart. Exhale, pushing out. Exhaling that fear. Any fear that we hold on to. Inhale, right hand in. Exhale, left hand out. Inhale, left hand in. Exhale, right hand out. Inhale, right hand in. Exhale, left hand out. Let's take both hands out now. Inhale, we'll press as well with that right hand. And exhale, hold. This time as we inhale, hands go wide. And exhale, hold. Inhale, hands go up. And exhale, we'll fold forward, reaching towards the front of our mat or off of our mat. Exhaling as we collapse down. Again, I'm going to face forward. Inhale, tent those hands. Lift that heart center ever so slightly. Exhale a second time forward over those hips. Good. Inhale, tent those hands. Let's walk out to the right. Exhale here. Inhale over to the left. Again, fingertips in contact with the mat. Exhale to the left. Beautiful. Let's bring it back to center. Inhale. As we exhale, let's slowly roll up. Again, we're going to put those hands out. Inhale. And exhale all the way up. Inhale, hands out. Exhale, up. Inhale, out. Exhale, up. Let's inhale. Let's rotate our hands. Inhale, opening to the left. Exhale, hands all the way down. Inhale, hands up. Back to center. Exhale, rotate to the right. Again, inhale up. This whole time our tailbone has maintained that connectivity as we exhale to the left. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Good work. As we inhale back to center, let's bring those hands all the way down to our sides, feet out from underneath us. I'm going to push this ground away so I'm near the front of my mat, forward fold. Got a nice inhale, maybe a flat back, maybe we reach for those toes. Exhale, start to lengthen through those hamstrings. Maybe walk it out. Do whatever you need to do in this first standing position. Inhale again, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Good. I'm going to root to rise. Deep breath in, reaching high. Exhale, hands to heart center, mountain pose. And then facing the camera, we're going to hold our Tadasana. So I'm going to make sure my Tadasana is really, really, again, grounded. Even though our root center chakra begins at our tailbone, it also continues through those legs down into the earth. Tadasana is a very active pose. It may seem very simple, but ideally we want to have everything engaged and connected. So while I stand here, I'm going to make sure my belly is engaged. Stomach is tight. Quadriceps are pulled tight and up. Pressing my legs together. feet are pushing into my mat, but I can still wiggle my toes. Chest is open, shoulders are back. Shoulder blades hugging our shoulder blades together, those muscles pulling the body inward, and hold that active pose. Inhale and exhale. See the difference. Here's just a relaxed standing Tadasana. Here's an active, engaged Tadasana. Wonderful. Let's go from this mountain pose to a deep breath in. Reach high. Exhale. Hold on to that right wrist. We're going to fall to the left. Inhale up. Exhale. Hold on to that left wrist. Fall to the right. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. I'm going to face forward once again. Inhale, flat back. Moving through our Surya A. Exhale, hands coming down to the mat, stepping back. Taking our first vinyasa, moving through our chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, into our first down dog. Again, you're welcome to walk it out if that feels good. Maybe shift those hips. Wonderful. Let's take our right leg nice and high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward. Beautiful. As we reach up into our warrior one, we're going to then take our hands forward. Exhaling as we drop, inhaling, open those hands wide, just like we did as we sat. Pushing away that fear, reaching up high. Deep breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Beautiful. Back to warrior one. Let's do it again. Exhale, hands go forward. Inhale, open hands. Exhale, hands up. Warrior two. Beautiful work. As we come back to warrior one, let's go ahead, let those hands go into a big circle, reaching down, framing that front foot, stepping back, high plank, single leg chaturanga down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Wonderful work. We'll do that two-part flow a second time on our left side. Left leg high, three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, step it forward. Bring those hands up, warrior one. Let's let those hands come forward. Wrists pulled back like we're pushing away any negative fear or energy. Let those hands come out, protecting our sides. Beautiful. Hands go up, warrior one. Exhale into our warrior two. Always lengthening that stance maybe just a bit. So then as we move through it a second time, warrior one, we have a deeper stance. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, hands go wide. Open that heart center. Inhale, hands go up. Exhale, hands come down. Warrior two. Beautiful. Warrior one. Big circle with those hands. Drop those hands down. Step it back. High plank. Single leg chaturanga as we shift that weight forward. Lowering down into our vinyasa. Good work. Settling back into our down dog. Returning again, three-legged dog, right leg high. Deep breath in. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale. Stepping forward. Warrior one. Again, even in warrior one, we are grounded to the earth. That tailbone is still pointing down. We have that grounding effort through our legs, and we're pushing that fear away a second time. Hands come out to the sides and up. This time as we come into our warrior two, let's take our reverse warrior. Beautiful. Exhaling back to warrior two. Beautiful. As we come to warrior one, let's let those hands drop a second time forward. This time though, as we open these hands, let's lift that back heel, reach all the way through and out, flying into warrior three, and letting those hands drop back, feet come underneath us, Tadasana. Active Tadasana, grounding us to the mat. Beautiful. When you're ready, root to rise, deep breath in, reach up. Hands flowing through that heart center. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping or hopping back. Let's flow through our sun salutation A. Moving through that vinyasa as we ease into our down dog. So we'll move to that added flow on the left side. When you're ready, inhale, left leg high. Exhale, stepping forward with that left foot right into warrior one. Grounding through those feet. On our exhale, let those hands come forward. Inhale, open nice and wide. Exhale, back to warrior one. Taking warrior two. When you're ready, reaching up. Beautiful reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. And warrior one, facing forward. Letting those hands come down, but preparing to lift off, letting that back heel rise, pushing through that front leg into a flying warrior three. Notice I still am pushing those hands out before I let them come down to my sides to take that grounded Tadasana mountain pose. Reminding myself that even in balanced poses, we are still grounded to that mat. We are secure in our root chakra, and we are pushing away fear. Let's bring both hands to heart center, pressing into that chest. Deep breath in and out. Now, as we feel rooted and secure in our root chakra space, we're going to move into our sacral chakra. Let's root to rise, deep breath in. Let's exhale, forward fold. We're going to move through our sun salutation A. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping or hopping back, taking our vinyasa until we reach our down dog. Beautiful work. Now as we move into focusing on our hip region of the sacral chakra, we want to make sure we move through these motions with fluidity. Focusing on that water element, let's take right leg high, three-legged dog, but let it ultimately move into that open scorpion dog before we step it forward. Right knee coming into the chest, right foot coming to that right thumb. We're going to drop that back knee, lizard pose. So I'm going to sit upright, bring my right hand to my right knee. I'm going to press out and slightly back. Like I'm drawing kind of a crescent moon shape with this knee, bringing it forward and back. Forward and back. Again, moving very dynamically here. As I come back in line, I'm going to get as low as I can into my lizard. Again, that might be right here with my hands underneath me, or it might be, for some, down on the forearms, or maybe reaching a hand or two hands forward. That's up to you. So find where you feel comfortable. Good. And as I exit this lizard pose, I'm going to bring that back knee. I'm going to float it up. Hands back underneath me if I've reached forward or around my forearms. Okay. I'm going to take a hand on either side of this front foot, right? Walk that right foot till it's right in our center. And I'm going to step all the way forward, forward fold. Root to rise, deep breath in. Exhaling, moving through that sun salutation A. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping or hopping back. Moving through that Chaturanga Tadasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhaling into downward dog. Left heel goes high, deep breath in. Three-legged dog. Exhaling directly into open scorpion dog before bringing that knee into the chest. Planting that foot by that left thumb, dropping that right knee, and reaching into our lizard pose, moving through that dynamically, letting that knee come back and forward, back and forward. Good work, guys. Back one final time and forward. Settling in to maybe a sleeping lizard, a supported lizard with a block under the forehead, anything that feels good in this lizard pose. Good. As I slowly bring my hands back underneath me. Perfect. I'm going to let that back knee float once again. I'm going to walk that knee till it's right into the midpoint of my mat. When I'm ready from here, stepping forward, forward fold. Good. Holding. So from this forward fold, we're going to go ahead and transition back to our lizard. So to do that, I'm going to get my hands on either side of the front foot, but I'm going to take that left foot back. So now I'm once again on my right side as I drop that left knee down. Nice, beautiful, open lizard. I can even walk that right foot kind of out ever so slightly to the right side of my mat. Good. Now as I bring my hands back to the inside of this right foot, I want to float this left leg. So I have a floating lizard here. I want to work on lifting that right heel up and kind of deepening that stretch through that left side. Again, I can still support myself here in my hands. Now, as I drop this left heel down and open this left hip, I'm going to lift through that left hand. Good. Notice I'm still on my toes. If this is too challenging, you can drop that heel down, but I always like to try to push and challenge ourselves by keeping that heel lifted. Let's drop that left hand back down. Back heel comes up. Right heel is still lifted. Right hand rises. Revolve side angle with that high lifted heel variation. Good. As I bring my hands down, dropping that right heel, I'm going to step forward, forward fold. Let's repeat that one more time. Right leg goes back. This takes us to our lizard. Again, dropping that heel, getting a nice open lizard stretch. Letting that foot open to the left ever so slightly. Bringing both hands back in line. On the inside of that foot, let's float that back knee. Good. Floating lizard. We're going to push through that front foot. Right heel goes down, right hand rises. Extended side angle with this variation. Balancing through that left foot. Hands come down, back heel rises. Squaring off to the front of our mat and then revolving, right hand down, left hand high. Left hand coming down. Left heel coming down, framing that front foot, stepping forward, forward fold. Good work. Let's go ahead. Inhale, flat back. Adding a little bit more hip work now. As hands come to the side, left foot comes back. We're back on our right side. Let's lengthen through that right leg, pyramid pose. Good. Bending into that front leg, runner stretch, dropping down, low lunge. Hands go up, warrior one positioning. Let's take those hands forward like we did earlier in our root chakra flow. Adding that fear-based push out. Good. Hands coming up. Beautiful. And releasing down. Open lizard. And let's add a bind. Beautiful work. As I come back forward, I'm going to step back this time from my runner stretch into our high plank. Let's take a chaturanga lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Taking our time to step, walk, or hop to the front of our mat. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, this time stepping back with the right foot. Runner stretch. Dropping that left knee or right knee down. Sorry, reaching forward, low lunge. Exhale, hands pushing forward. Inhale, opening up. Returning to that low lunge. Hands coming down through our center. Adding that bind. Beautiful work. Nicely done. Returning back to where we were, only this time as we take that runner stretch, we step back just like before, taking that vinyasa. Exhaling to down dog. Now let's move through our down dog into our yogi squat. So we're going to walk our hands back. So we're at the back of our mat. Toes turn out, hips go down. Hands at heart center. Let's hold that yogi foot position, but lower hands to the mat. Push that ground away, lengthen through those legs. And drop right back into yogi squat. Good. 2 more times. Hands come down, lengthen. And return. When you're ready, final time, lengthen. And return. Beautiful work. I'm going to turn my toes facing forward, dropping knees to the mat, hands in front of me, tabletop, cat stretch to cow, cat to cow. Now, cat and cow stretch has a lot to do with that sacral chakra, because watch how the hips move, especially right below the navel, up into cat and down into cow. It's also a very fluid motion. We can kind of move through it back and forth, even focusing a little more on the hips rather than the upper body and upper spine, back and forth. Good. Let's come to just a nice stable top. Let's enter bird dog. From here, we're going to bind our bird dog. Feeling that stretch through the hip. Returning back out. Hand going forward, releasing to the mat. Same thing, opposite side. Left heel kicks out. Right hand goes forward. Right hand comes out to the side, bending that back knee, reaching to connect with that foot, opening through that hip. Beautiful. Back to center and back to the mat. Now, we can do a very similar activity, maybe not with the bind, but to make it more challenging, from plank position. So I want to show you that, give you that option. You can repeat bird dog just like we did from the hands and knees, or you can do it from plank. So I'm going to extend right leg, left hand. Good. Maybe even bending and reaching if you want to attempt the bind. It's so hard. And back and down. Again, this is meant to just show you challenging options. Left foot, right hand, and you can just hold here or you can take that bind. Good. Returning. Again, not meant to be super long. We're going to go right back to our down dog. Beautiful work. Now, the sacral chakra flow is not complete without our pigeon pose. So let's go ahead, prepare for our reclining pigeon pose, taking right heel high, bringing that knee forward, crossing it across our mat, keeping that foot as even with the front of our mat in terms of parallel as we can. So I always do that by kind of holding onto that foot just a bit. My hip is a tad bit injured, so I'm trying to be really gentle on my right side. Sitting nice and upright before we engage in our sleeping pigeon, which collapses forward. Again, supporting with the forearm if you need to, like me, where I have a slight injury on that right hip. Trying to be a little cautious, not to flare that up. But many of you and your pigeons I've seen before can get that full extension. So feel free to take what feels right for you today. For pigeon pose, we always try to hold this as the longest stretch that we do within our flow. So anywhere between 5 to 10 breaths is generally accepted to get some release in that hip. And let's take one full breath here, one final time, inhaling and exhaling. Transitioning back to having our hands underneath ourselves, double checking to see where that foot is, see if that leg slowly creeped in if we were really tight. Always being aware of that so that we can try to maintain that parallel line with our shin in the front of our mat. I'm starting to float that right leg, push through those hands, lift that back leg out from underneath me, and stepping back to down dog. Wonderful work, guys. Let's take our time entering pigeon pose on our left side. So when you feel comfortable and ready, left heel goes high, step it forward, lay it across that mat. Again, adjusting if necessary. This stretch is really generally for you, meaning most people really can tell that they need it. And so even though it can cause discomfort, it's one that it definitely benefits us by really easing into and settling in for a long period of time. So get comfortable and relaxed. Wonderful work, everyone. If you've been holding this sleeping pigeon, let's begin that transition out of this pose. Hands on either side of our front leg. Let's get our back toe underneath us, stepping back to down dog. Wonderful work, guys. Hips should feel nice and open. Let's return to our tabletop position. I want to just get some good circular motion. Chakras have a lot to do with circularity, and that all the chakras circle in an upward motion from our sacrum and our root tailbone chakra up all the way to our crown chakra. So I always like to encourage just elements, especially in the sacral area, of fluidity, meaning some hip circles. I'm going to pause, kind of go the other direction. It creates kind of a play on a cat-cow movement, but it's just encouraging, again, that fluidity in the sacral region as we tie up our root and sacral chakra flow. Breathing through this motion. One final circle. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and pause, tabletop. Let's sit back in child's pose. Our first child's pose of the class, making sure that forehead makes good contact with that mat. Hands can be in front of us in extended child's balasana pose, or hands right alongside of us. Child's pose is a wonderful grounding pose as well, because even though it doesn't incorporate the tailbone having contact with the earth, it incorporates our forehead, otherwise known as our third eye region, having contact with that mat. So I want to end with 3 breaths here. And from that third exhalation in our child's pose, I'm going to slowly transition upright. I'm going to hold my half hero to seal our practice, facing the camera. So once again, return hands to our heart center so we can feel that breath as it rises the chest, and then feel that chest fall as we exhale. From here, we can separate those hands nice and open on our knees. Oftentimes with chakras, we like to repeat a mantra that is associated with the openness of those chakral areas. So the root chakra, again, has to do a lot with pushing away fear and encouraging security. So a very simple mantra for the root chakra can be, I am secure. So that's what we're going to end with today. I am secure. Similarly, another mantra, I am confident, and I am at peace. Wonderful work, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, the light in me honors and sees the light that is in you. Namaste.